Okay.
Alrighty. It looks like we're finally live, ladies and gentlemen. How's everybody doing today? With me, as always, I got the lovely Filia Noctis,
Hello, my necrophiliacs.
the lovely Mina.
Hello, Huntlings.
And today, our guest is the equally lovely Madam Raven.
Hi.
Equally lovely. She's wonderful. Saying.
You guys are all wonderful. Don't make me beat you up with compliments.
He's gonna get mad at me.
I will beat you up with compliments. Don't you think I won't?
Yeah, he will. I will admit
How you?
I am fangirling. I think Filia is fangirling.
Yes.
It is so wonderful to have you here with us.
Thank you. I still don't get it though. Thank you very much. No, I'm just a small YouTuber. Tell stories.
We're all YouTubers that tell spooky stories.
Yes, exactly.
All you VTubers.
Exactly. You heard me.
Some of us are just better at it than others, and you're tops.
I mean, I'll
Top
take
of
the
the pops.
compliment.
Thank you very much. You're too kind.
If you haven't,
How are you doing today, Madam Raven?
I'm doing good. It's not unbearably hot today, so that's a good thing.
if you've not heard of Madam Raven, I want to know what rock you're hiding under.
You don't need to know that business. That's my rock. You stay away from it.
Okay.
Don't
touch his
little bit possessive of the rock there, dude. That's fine. That's
Exactly.
fine.
It's my rock.
You do you.
It's his preciousness.
It's my precious.
But I believe Laura and I were talking earlier, saying, how could you not be subbed to Madam Raven? Because she's Madam Raven.
Yeah, and if you aren't, then come here and let me smack you around a little bit.
So if I unsub, do I get smacked around a little bit? Because I mean,
No, you'll enjoy it too much.
damn it.
We know you too well.
I know your games. I'm onto you.
So,
go ahead.
our normal first question is we ask that you introduce yourself a little bit and tell us a little bit about your channel and any other information that you would like to use as an introduction.
Okay. I've been doing this, almost 4 years? Or is it almost 5 years? I think it's almost 4 years. I lose track of time. Maybe. But I read stories like everybody else. I tend to stray to more subjects that I like. Stray to what is it? I like folklore, fairy stories, particularly malevolent fairies, sort of thing. I have been very lucky that I am the one that gets to narrate the How to Survive Camping series.
I love that series.
And yeah, it's a
Yes.
long series. I've been doing it for a year and a half every
Oh my
week.
goodness.
And I checked, and yeah, in October it will be 5 years. Wow. Anyway, so yeah, that's basically it. I need to do more one-off stories. I've got so many um, series going on right now that it's kind of hard for people to jump in and know what's going on. But I do have over 800 videos, so there's a lot to choose from.
You also are very good at
Good God, that's a lot of
categorizing
videos.
everything. Putting them all together. I like that. That
Well,
helps.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I do have like some different ones. I do like 411 missing theory, if you know what that is. 411 missing is people that disappear generally out in nature, often in national parks, and their disappearances don't make much sense. And children are found 20 miles away in the morning where they could not have walked, and things like that. And skinwalker, people don't like me to say true skinwalker stories, but I'll say authentic, that I get from Dene Navajo people. So those I enjoy a lot too.
I love the fact that the skinwalker stories you tell don't have antlers.
Right.
Just saying, they don't have antlers, people.
I like the fact that they come from the Dene people.
Yeah. So I heard a fictional skinwalker story that Vidith told, and it had like 3 different types of skinwalkers. One didn't have antlers, one had antlers, and then the other one had this exoskeleton and it's like acid saliva. And I'm like, you know what? If you're gonna screw around with like Wendigo and stuff like that lore, you done did it right, because you made them badasses, and I appreciate this.
Right. I'm a skinwalker snob. Isn't that awful?
You're not.
No.
the only
Like, if
one.
I just unplugged my headphones. One
Yeah.
second
Oh, no.
here. But yeah, so yeah, I was interested in that way before I started on YouTube, and even knew about Reddit, going back a ways. I believe it was on the Ghost Study message boards, which was a site I was involved in a while ago, and I'd gotten some stories. It's an old email I can't even get into, that people had emailed me their true stories. So I've been interested in that for a very, very long time. So yeah, I'm kind of a skinwalker snob, I guess.
Yeah, the only reason I really like the way they did that the person who wrote that story did that was because they weren't claiming it was true, so they were they may have been playing fast and loose with it, but they were playing fast and loose with it, and and wrote a damn good story. And I'm like, you know what? As long as you're not trying to claim this is true, I'm okay with this.
Right. Yeah, good fiction's always good fiction.
Well, yeah, and it could have been a skinwalker and other creatures as well. I mean, I think that the ones that at least I hear that have the antlers, I think they're more like deer people than they are really skinwalkers. But that's
Wendigos.
no, not
A
Wendigos.
skinwalker could be a deer. they take on forms of many different kinds of animals, but usually wolves or coyotes are more likely. But every culture in the world has some form of shape-shifting legend around it.
Exactly.
So yeah, you get the same sort of stories no matter where. Viking Europe, wherever it may be. But yeah, so it's interesting that way.
I also find it very interesting that each culture has like, it's a different take on it, but they have each culture has like a dragon. Like we have the western dragons, the eastern dragons, and then you got like the Nordic dragon, which was Yondagir. God, I can't ever pronounce his name, but that big ass fucking world serpent.
World serpent, yeah.
So I always thought how can people who had zero contact with each other, all come up with like a creature that is essentially the same, just looks slightly different, without it being true.
Right.
And I've used that with other things. I mean, you hear, and I'm not getting religious here, guys. Noah and the flood. But
I was just going to say.
And you look at, Gilgamesh, and they talk about the old man that survived the flood. And, you go around the world, and there are all these stories about this terrible flood that flooded everywhere, and there was only one family that survived. Well, what does that say?
Yeah. A lot of things are so very deep in our psyche, without trying to get too Jungian here, but there's so much that resonates with people no matter where in the world, and it's just fascinating.
It is.
That's kind of my favorite missing 411 theory is the Fae theory, and it's called the Fae theory, but basically it is, if you want to look at it from a modern perspective, interdimensional peoples and creatures that come through. And in Europe, it was the Fae. It was the Tuatha De Danann. It could be, in Japan, it could be the yokai. It could be El Duende in South America, these little creatures that protect the forest. And it's everywhere, It's everywhere humans are. You have these creatures. Well,
you go back and look at the stories of the red caps that were quote unquote in Ireland, and then you go into, at least in Appalachia in North Carolina, and they'll tell you about the red caps or the little red men. And
they came with.
Yeah, they came over with. And that's not unusual, though. I mean, there were some here already, but then they got added to. So our legends and mythology, there's got to be, at least in my head, there's got to be some sort of truth based there somewhere when that's so prevalent in our society.
Yeah. Right. So look, now that we've built up a few people, let's take a look at who's in the chat and say hi to these fine people.
Yeah.
I was waiting to build up some people. We got my boy Chrono.
And we've got Laura.
By the way, Chrono, Team PA.
We've got Laura Applewood.
We've got Jellybean.
Dark Horse Tales.
Yeah, we've got Jellybean.
Where's Jellybean's other half? I'm wondering where my boy Ray's at.
Jellybean is Ray's wife. We've got
okay. Akutabi.
Yes,
we got my other boy. We got hair-raising narratives in the house.
Yes.
What's going on, HR?
And I think that might be everybody. Oh, Infinite Psychosis.
Yep, Infinite Psychosis just popped in.
Psychosis, how are you?
Although
there you are.
So I was cheating. So I pulled up the participants in the chat box. So I'm like, yeah. I was like, oh, he's writing my story. That's an acceptable reason not to be here. I will allow it.
Yeah, the thing with the participants.
Participant.
Okay. is that they have to talk in chat for them to be on that list, and it's got a
Yeah.
certain number of seconds that it will take them
Mhm.
off. I don't know
Yeah.
why.
Okay.
It's YouTube.
Yeah.
I know way too much. Before I even started my channel, I was digging into why does it work this way, and I'm probably going to be doing some videos on that.
I am very excited for Ray's story.
I did not even know those things were there.
Right?
The participants.
Yeah, it does make life a lot easier. Madam Raven,
I'm
if you've
sure.
never heard one of Ray Beeman's stories, you should definitely check him out, because he's a great author, and you can read some of his stuff on your channel. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, elbow, elbow.
Awesome.
I think she knows Mary Beeman. You're and I can't think of the name of the story right now. You've also got the story of the vampires who are living in the Volkswagen van, which is what I see in my head.
Yes.
It's like
Yeah.
this is the Scooby group running
Oh,
around as vampires.
I'm just gonna say, if they didn't title that, I'm just gonna say, if they did not title that Volkswagen Vampires, they missed out on a brilliant marketing opportunity.
Yeah, it's not named that, but
Oh.
it's a wonderful.
Missed opportunity right
It
there.
was a
Missed
fun
opportunity.
story. That was from Michael Lockhart. I read a lot of his stuff. He's very proliferate, and he posts on my subreddit. I have a subreddit for authors.
It's linked in the
Madam Raven's
description.
Darling. Okay, good. Yay. Anyway, yeah, he writes some incredible stuff. He does the Urban Fae too, which I'm
Yes.
really fond of, and the Dogman series with Lacey.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, the vampires, and they were living in their bus on their way from Woodstock when they returned. So they have to stay in their Volkswagen van, and they've had to keep it running for so many generations.
You got to
was
think
a
they're
fun
running
one.
out of repair parts for that thing.
Right.
What point do they start converting it into a more modern vehicle?
Well, see, now that's the way to do it, is just kind of like keep the shell and put in like an electric motor or something. I don't know. Solar panels on the roof.
Mm-hmm.
Ow. Owie.
It'd be hard to keep coffins in one of those things.
They don't have coffins. They just sleep.
Was
on
it a microbus or just a regular van?
I think it was
just
just
a
a regular one. Wasn't it?
regular. Yeah.
But they had converted it a little bit on the inside because they were already living / traveling in it.
Oh,
Right. And they just had to make sure the sunlight didn't get in during the day. So.
Hey, that gives a whole new meaning to the term fast food.
okay. Okay, I've got a question. How did you come up with the name Madam Raven? It's fitting,
Well,
but how did you come up with it?
first of all, I was Mother Raven. My very first video was about dark fairy tales and dark nursery rhymes. So it was kind of a play on Mother Goose.
Okay.
And then I thought, oh, that makes me sound really, really, really old. And I may be really old when I want to sound it. So I just kind of changed it to Madame to give it a little more, I don't know, style.
Prestige.
And just kind of went with that.
The more pizzazz.
That makes sense. It's yeah.
I remember
You command that feeling.
Oh, by the way, chat, if you have any questions for our guest, feel free to ask them. As always.
Laura, why did you retract your message?
Lawbreaker!
We
We
don't
do not retract our messages in this
we-
house.
Are we making that rule over here too?
Lawbreaker.
Maybe she misspelled things really, really bad.
Hey, you own what you type.
I just put the link for the authors for Madame Raven's
Her Reddit.
Darlings on the Reddit.
Noise.
Thank you very much.
It's in the description, but I just dropped it in chat too. Goodness gracious. So many wonderful series, and I'm amazed that when you go and do a series, you manage to get the same tonal quality in every single episode of the series. Like if you're doing a voice for this character, that character travels 3 years down the road, with that voice.
So sometimes I'm like, I'm going through and I'm like, okay, it's been a while since I've done that. What did this person sound like?
That was what I was going to ask.
Do you go listen to your video to remind yourself what voice you used?
You know what? Not as often as I should. I just kind of like, I don't know. I have the character in my head and I just kind of go with that.
Yeah.
No, I should really go back. Okay, and I have a bad habit of switching accents halfway through a video.
Oh, that's happened to me before.
See, I did.
I was. Go ahead, Mia.
I did Beautiful Nightmares first books. There's a killer in my town, and she gave me permission to narrate the whole book. And I did that last October, November, and December because it took me that long to get through the whole book. But I was going back to the other videos and going, okay, what did this one sound like?
Yeah, whenever I narrated I'm Babysitting Black-Eyed Children by Rose Black, whenever I, after I did the first couple parts of it, I went back and I listened to how the tone that I had for the children, because I had this very monotone, because they were Black-Eyed Children, so I had like no emotion in their voice at all, and I'm like, all right, I need to hear it, because I did fluctuate the bass in my voice just a little bit for the male and the female child, and I just needed to see how I did it, and I'm just like, okay, but yeah, it's hard. It's hard if when you go back to a multi-part series and to freaking get that same voice again.
Right. Especially when you're picking it up like months later, it's hard.
So I got a couple questions. They're all together here.
So I have a statement real quick from Laura. Laura said she liked the name. He likes the name Mother Raven.
I sort of like it. I think it's almost a position that I've gained as kind of a motherly figure in the community. I don't know. But yeah, I'll learn it. I'll learn it.
Well, if you check her channel out, it is C Mother Raven, and her Twitter is Mother Raven 5. So even though she's Madame Raven and we love her as Madame Raven, she's still our mother.
Yeah, I think I'm still that on Reddit too. So yeah.
Yeah. So your evil it's a long one. Your evil fairy tale stories, etc., brought you kind of into the horror community. Who was your first horror tuber? And did you find that breaking into the community was harder because you're female or not?
Who did I listen to? I listened to Creeps McPasta at the time. Doc, of course. Mm-hmm. Doc was a inspiration. He was a big reason why I started. Okay, I will tell you this part. I do have fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue, so I would collapse on the bed and listen to those stories, and then I'd think, oh, I could probably tell them. That wouldn't take a lot of energy. And so it's kind of how I got into it. It's just, okay, that's something I could do. I could give it a shot. I may not be successful, but, I'll try. So I did that. But I think it is more difficult for women to gain the subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
And
Which I find stupid as hell.
Well, PA, I've told you, there are people out there that they don't think that the female voice should be doing narration.
Because they're
Period.
fucking idiots. I'll say it again, because they're fucking idiots.
I agree
Oh, my
with
boy.
you.
Hold on. My boy JM's in the house. What's going on, dude? Sorry, I got a little excited when I saw JM. I always get excited when I see JM.
Yeah, JM, we had him on last week. So Gamma.
So, Gamma, yeah.
Gamma Akutabi asks, what is the longest story you've narrated and how did you handle it?
Oh boy. My longest video was the third book of the How to Survive Camping series, and that was 19 hours and something. But of course, I already narrated it, so I just put that together. I've done Lovecraft.
He's
The
difficult.
one, yes, he is. I love the older stories, but the archaic language is such a tongue twister. And I can narrate for about 2 hours until my voice goes out, if I've got the time. And I've tried to do a lot of stuff in just one sitting, and sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes you have to record for an hour and then go back and then do more, the next day or whenever. Sometimes just to get your mind straight, because your brain just kind of goes to mush after too many words.
Yeah.
And it's funny. I really can't say which one video apart from like the compilations that I did that was the longest. But you start saying things, and then even regular words you just can't get out right. And you've got like 4 takes, and you're like, okay. I am going to go shopping and come back and finish this. But sometimes you do. You just have to take a break and then come back and pick up where you left off. But yeah.
I don't remember which story it was, but I had one story where I was trying to say one sentence, and I was trying to say it for a half an hour, and I kept screwing it up, and I'm like, you know what? I'm saying this how I want to say it. And I let my brain say it, and I messaged Jothra. I'm like, look, my brain and my tongue were like, no, okay? So I changed it to this, and they're like, that's fine.
Yeah.
I remember you saying, and I can't remember where it was, but you said something about having fibromyalgia, and I don't know why that didn't click. Because, Filia has health problems. I've got relapsing multiple sclerosis. And I find a lot of the narrators have physical ailments of some sort that affect them, but the narration helps them to deal with it. Whether it's listening or actually doing the narration, it helps them deal with it. And I think that's something that we've kind of gotten a community of people with this.
Right.
And it's kind of cool.
Right. Morgan Scorpion. She,
I have
Julie...
a theory.
So,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
So JM asked the question. He says, Madam Raven, how do you determine pacing, pitch, etc. with your voice for certain stories? Also, it's a song from Stranger Things. I don't think the song's from Stranger Things.
Exposure Land is the name of the album this one's on. From a Filia.
Oh, that's right. We can't hear the music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, what?
I can see what it is because I've got the player on my computer, but I can't hear it. It's really weird not being able to hear the music.
Kinda, yeah. How do I determine? Just I don't know how the story moves me. If it's got a comedic element, or if it's much more dramatic or serious or sorrowful or whatever. I just kind of go with it and hope it works. Isn't that awful? But no, it really just depends on the story and how it makes me feel. I try to convey through how I'm telling it.
I love the characters that you have that go from being serious and all of a sudden they're cracking a joke. And you can tell in your voice the shift.
Yeah, yeah. I have a lot of fun with the camping series on that. There's just she writes the funniest stuff. She really does.
Good writing is a must for stuff like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you don't have
I
good writing,
often
you
joke-
can't.
Yeah, I love when she was trying to figure out the name for the guy with the cup. You know, why do I have to name
And
him?
if you were following on Reddit, everybody had a suggestion.
Yeah, everybody was suggesting.
But Filia, what were you saying about good writing?
Oh, I just said if you don't have good writing when you're doing it, when you're reading a story, it really does throw off the pacing and everything, and your ability to convert from serious to a funny line. If the writing is not good, it doesn't flow naturally, and that
Yeah,
it
I
comes
often
through.
You're
That's why writing is so fun.
Doesn't make sense, and you don't know what's going on. And you're like, okay, what are they trying to say? You know?
Yeah.
Writing, good writing really helps.
But I often joke that there's only two emotions I can portray, and that's sarcasm and anger. The rest of them, I give my best shot at. But if you give me a sarcastic character or just the one that's cracking witty one-liners, I'm golden.
And you really do make Kate. You are Kate. I couldn't even read those stories without hearing your voice.
Thank you very much. Kate, she is interesting because she is a hero, but she's also an anti-hero.
Mm-hmm.
She really does try to work for the greater good, but she does terrible, terrible things. And it really makes her character interesting.
And she struggles with those. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
Is she struggles with those. She tries to. How different am I from these guys who are doing these horrible things, and I'm
right.
What's the difference between me and them? And her relationship with the town, and the people of the town, the sheriff and the former sheriff.
Oh my God!
If she gets too complacent and okay, I'm right about what I do, then she gets some creature like Pircha coming up and slapping her upside of the head. Yeah, he's not.
I love that scene.
So, yeah. Yeah.
So I've never watched one of the How to Survive Camping videos. And I was just like, you know what? I'll look up the playlist and see how many there is. And I'm like, holy Christ, I'm going to be watching this for a while.
You have to start at the beginning. You gotta go way back.
You can catch up with the collections. She has each book as a long playlist or long video. But if you haven't listened to that series, guys, you really need to go listen to that series.
it's a good series. It's a good series.
It's like, when I first started listening, I'm like, this would be fun to narrate. And then I get like halfway through the first book, and I'm like, no, Madam Raven's doing this too good. There's no way I can do any better.
She's only allowed me and Weekly Creeps to narrate, and nobody else. She's grant permission.
Well, that's like I listen to Tales from the Gas Station, and I've heard other people do it, but I'm like, no, MCP is the only person that I will listen to read these stories.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's just too good at that character. Like MCP is a great narrator, but you give him comedy horror, he goes from great to fantastic real quick.
Yeah, there's a reason why has the most subscribers of anybody. He is really good, and he's a nice guy.
Oh, he really is.
Yeah, he is. Spike is.
Yeah.
Okay, my turn.
Go ahead.
Mia, I love you. It's my turn.
I don't know what he's saying. But JM said I'm sold, and maybe on
He's
listening to the How to Survive Camping.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you do, and I don't know how you manage it with all the other things, you do find time to do collaboration. And you collaborate with some of the big guys, and you collaborate with the up and comings too, which I think is just fabulous. That you take your time, your precious time, because I know when you have chronic conditions, you don't have a lot of extra time to spare. So saying that, who have you had the most fun collaborating with so far?
One I collaborated most with is Dr. Creepin, and that's always a good time. I did an old radio drama, and I asked him to be in it. He was the H.H. Holmes character. It was based on H.H. Holmes, and he was like, these lines are kind of corny. I'm like, yeah, it's chewing the scenery, trust me. And he liked it when it was done, but he was not too sure about it before. But, it's fun to collaborate with a ton of people. You find a new narrator, and they've got a great voice, they've got 5 subscribers, and you're like, okay, come do a collab with me, and see if we can get you a few. And that's always fun to do, and to bring them in and get them going, and then watch them soar past million subscribers. Like, don't forget me. But no, I mean, it's such a fun community, and it's so creative. So many authors and narrators, and just people working together. I had a lot of fun on the War of the Worlds I did too. Had so much fun doing that, and Scott, Nature's Temper, he's great to work with too. He's got an amazing voice.
I love the Cerber series.
Oh yes, that is so great.
So real quick, JM asked another question. He's like, what do you think your biggest gamble has been as a narrator?
My biggest gamble. Ooh.
Oh, there's before that.
Yeah, there is one before that. I'm looking at it.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. I'll answer that one first.
It's a gamble when you move away from what you usually do. Doing the 411 missing theory videos was a gamble that paid off huge, because my first one is my most viewed video ever, and it's when you change the formula, when you switch things up, it's always a gamble, and sometimes it pays off and sometimes it doesn't. The hardest thing, the scariest thing, was going back, asking people to collaborate. Um, sorry, asking people to, these bigger names to collaborate with you was really nerve-wracking when I was starting out. And if people are like, oh, just ask. What's the worst that can happen? They'll say no. So, all right. But yeah, that was the most nerve-wracking thing, was to talk to these wonderful narrators that I looked up to, and I guess I just put them on such a high pedestal at the time that it was so nerve-wracking. But it's not like that anymore. So
It is for me.
it is. It can be.
So I remember when I was first starting out, right? And I was talking to Jensen about doing a collab with him and this person, and somebody's like, "You asked Jensen to do a collab?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And for some reason, Jensen is revered as like a god.
I mean, the difference is that you knew Jensen before you started narrating. I mean,
Yeah,
he-
but I don't understand it, because Jensen is like one of the nicest people I have
He
ever
is.
met, and people are like, "I'm so scared to talk to him." I'm like, dude, just say hi.
Well, and let's Reed is a very down to earth guy.
Yeah.
Slumber
For the
is
most part, they all
great.
are.
But
Yeah.
it's still and like I told Dr. Creepin, it's still that number underneath their name, 4.03K subscribers. How could she possibly want to do one with me when I've only got 454?
It really is. And I was going to say something, and my dog, hang on 2 seconds. I've got to let my dog out of the
Okay.
room before. Thank you, Carter. Anyway.
Puppy aggro.
Yes.
You're not paying attention to me, Mom.
That's right. Well, no, somebody showed up, so he's like, "There's that out." But it's so funny, because I had somebody that was just starting, and they talked to me for a while, and then they're like, "Could you ask Congo Johnny if he would do a collab with me?" And I'm like, "Ask him yourself. He's a down-to-earth, nice guy,
I both love and miss Johnny. That guy is awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, I miss him.
So JM's other question was, how do you choose stories or authors to narrate? Is it being smitten with a work, or do you go by what you think will be popular or well received?
I personally go by what I like. I remember, my subreddit just barely took off, like this summer. Before that, there was nothing, so I had to go out and hunt down stories. And so, I would think, okay, what am I in the mood for? And then I would search up a subject and see what popped up that way. And, another thing, that was another hurdle I had to get over, was asking writers if I could read their stuff. That was kind of nerve-wracking. And most of them were like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so thrilled you want to do that." And you get a few that won't answer you, and then you get some that, "I'm sorry, but I can't because of this." And, on the whole, once you get into it, it's not scary, but it was, scary to start that and say, "I have this tiny YouTube channel. Can I read your story?" And they're like, "Oh my gosh, you want to read my story?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay, so maybe this isn't so bad." But yeah, I go with what hits me, what I like. And now, I got more stories shared on my subreddit, so it's easier because I don't have to go through that process. But still, yeah, I read what I like, and maybe if I what was trending more, I'd pick something different. But it's my channel. I'll do what I want. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I don't think following trends, unless you're into that, whatever's trending, is
Right.
is a good way to do it, because if you're not interested in the subject at all, you're gonna phone it in. You're just gonna sound very bored and not into it, and
Exactly.
you don't want to
Right.
you don't want to give yourself that reputation. So like, I know
Right.
true stories are like the hot thing right now, and I may give it a whirl and see if I enjoy it, but mostly my channel is just going to be straight, fiction, because
Mhm.
that is what I enjoy the most. So
Right.
I don't.
Right.
I'm much like you. I do what I love. I do what I love because I don't want to. I don't want to sound like I'm phoning it in, man. Like,
Right. Right.
Mm-hmm.
but
And I
let's
need to do.
let's. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I need to do more 411 and more Skinwalker stories, but they involve a little more time to prepare. I do have to go look for the Skinwalker stories, and I have to write out the 411 and research, different
Mhm.
cultures, folklore, which is fun, but I just haven't had the time lately. So that's kind of gone by the way, and I've just done stories, fiction lately. So it is what it is. So
I
Okay.
probably
Okay,
know
let's
the
let
answer to
Filia
this.
talk, because she hasn't talked much.
Okay.
It's your time to shine, Filia.
Oh, me? Oh, I'm just listening to her voice. I don't have a question.
I was
I'm
gonna
sorry.
say, have you? And I apologize because you've got such a huge volume of work. I think I know the answer to this, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. Have you sat down and wrote stories on your own?
that's you. I was doing a steampunk version of Tam Lin, and I read what I'd written so far on the channel. And for the big collab that Doc does twice a year,
Mm-hmm.
last January, I wrote a story for that. So I need to do more writing. I used to write quite a bit, but like I say, time is in short supply lately.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that.
So yeah, I need to write more, but I've written some, but not a great deal.
I thought I knew the answer, and I was right. What type of horror stories get you? What type affect
Um,
you the worst or the best?
that's an interesting question. Um, the more realistic that it could happen affect me a great deal more. Um, I enjoy the supernatural a lot. I grew up in a haunted house, and so, hauntings just fascinate me. I was a ghost hunter for quite a few years, and that was a blast. And so that's always been an interest of me, but it doesn't scare me. Serial killers, crazy people that harm others, those are the ones that get under my skin and affect me.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I can watch any of the haunting movies, that's fine, but if you take me to an apocalyptic movie that could really happen, that's too much for me.
That makes sense.
Your maker is
Yeah.
his line is very true. It's always worse when it's true. When
Yeah.
it's real.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, I've got a fun question.
Oh, right.
Fun questions. Okay, so you're gonna throw a dinner party. how and the only people you can invite are in not just our horror community, but like movie horror, written horror, something like that. Anybody that's involved in horror. You have 5 guests. Who would you
Guests.
invite? 5 guests.
Definitely
They could-
Poe and
Okay.
Lovecraft.
Okay.
John Carpenter would be interesting.
Oh, good.
Stephen King would be interesting. And that leaves me with only one slot left. Mary Shelley.
Oh,
Mary
Ah.
Shelley was very interesting.
yes, she was.
Very good.
She had a very tragic
Very
life.
good. Yes.
And she was the Gothic queen, you know?
What?
Lost her virginity on her mother's grave and carried her husband's heart around. So yeah. She would be a very interesting person to talk to.
That is an awesome group.
Mhm.
That is an awesome group.
Is it weird that I would want to invite my alter ego, considering he like lives in the river Styx, and I would want to pick his brain what it's like to live down in Hades?
That would be interesting. That would be, yeah.
JM says, I don't know if I could have dinner with Lovecraft. I think that would be a interesting group of people, though, because, I mean...
As long as you left the tentacles at home.
I think I would have to switch Vincent Price with Stephen King.
Oh, yes. Oh, I'm ashamed of myself for leaving Vincent Price out. He was my first crush when I was like 10.
Oh,
I
Right?
still crush over him.
I know,
Right?
I know. Oh. And Christopher Lee. Oh my goodness. Could
yeah.
anybody be more interesting?
Hey,
See,
hey,
you would almost have to like break it up into, okay, tonight is going to be the author's night, and then next Thursday is going to be the actor's night. I mean, you'd almost have to do it that way to get
Right.
everybody in.
And then
Hey,
they would
look.
have narrators, you know.
Right, right.
Look, he might not technically be classified under horror, but he did write stories about freaking people getting eaten. So I would invite Tolkien to that dinner.
Tolkien.
There were monsters eating people.
Yeah.
Okay, close enough. We're in the ballpark.
He would be in my fantasy. He would be in my fantasy group, though.
Yeah. he's-
See, I would have to have
Right.
a fantasy group.
Yeah.
Like Anne McCaffrey would have to be there,
Oh, yeah.
and Tolkien.
Mm.
Somebody wants to ask me if I could bring anybody back from the dead to have like one last dinner with them. I'm like, who would be? I'm like, well, if we're taking the realistic option off the table, which is my mother, since I didn't actually get to say bye, I'm like Tolkien, every single time Tolkien. Maybe
Tolkien.
Lewis, if I could bring
Mhm.
2 of them back, Tolkien and Lewis, because those 2 are like best friends, and I consider them like the fathers of fantasy. So I would want to pick both of their
Oh.
brains.
Could you imagine being in that writing group? I cannot remember what it
No,
is off the top of my head,
can't
but
imagine that.
with both of
Oh,
those, that
Just to
would
sit in the room with the 2 of those.
just
Oh.
right.
Oh, fun fact!
You
Fun
could
fact!
add Dickens and Doyle and
I don't. Doyle's the one who wrote Sherlock Holmes, right?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, Doyle can stay. Dickens, I could take or leave him, but Doyle can definitely stay. But fun fact, Madam Raven, I have a book about J.R. Tolkien, and one of the first things in that book says that he started The Hobbit. He wrote the first page of The Hobbit on a essay of one of his students that they turned in the essay with a blank page, and so he wrote like literally the first like a paragraph of the Hobbit on that blank page, and apparently he was so tired of grading essays he almost gave that kid an A for not finishing the assignment.
Wow. Oh,
yes.
amateur animators
Oh,
here.
that's funny.
Yes.
And-
Hey, amateur. How you doing, buddy?
And he's wishing us a Merry Christmas. It's Christmas in July, everyone.
Okay. Merry
Um,
Christmas.
I'll take the Christmas, cut out the July, and just bring me December. And we're golden. We're golden.
Well, I just want Halloween
I
in
Oh,
July
hate-
too.
no, you can't miss September, October, and November though. That's
I'm not saying
Yeah.
I'm not saying we miss them. We just we teleport to the important parts or just the colder months.
Yeah, because we
I
can't
hate
miss
summer.
Halloween.
I hate
That's
summer.
right.
We can't miss the month of Halloween.
And while everybody else is watching Christmas movies on Christmas, I'm watching horror movies because
Right?
screw Christmas movies.
Well,
Ever
you know
seen
what?
Silent Night. Deadly Night?
Gremlins is a Christmas movie.
I have.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is.
There
Hey,
you go.
I will accept that. I will accept that movie because that movie is amazing.
Silent Night, Deadly Night, Black Christmas,
Krampus.
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 There's like a whole group of Christmas horror movies.
And they should be watched every Christmas.
It's there's movies that fit so many things that aren't just purely horror or aren't just purely this or that, and yeah, I don't know. I've never seen Die Hard, Laura.
Die Hard's amazing.
I
How dare
It's
you've
good.
not seen it?
I've got a story about that.
It has a very young, very sexy looking Alan Rickman in it.
Oh,
That's all you need
I
to
thought-
know.
Okay.
I thought you were
It's
gonna say.
amazing.
I thought you were gonna say Bruce Willis, and I was like,
oh, he was pretty good in that movie too.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I'm just kidding.
Amateur animator Jack Frost, the horror movie does count.
Yes, it does.
dude, I love that movie. It's so bad, but I love it.
But my son was 17 or 18, and he comes in and he says, "You neglected me, Mom." And I'm like, "What do you mean? What do you mean I neglected you?" He says, "Why did you never let us watch Die Hard?" I said, "I've never watched Die Hard. Why would I let you watch something I've never watched?"
Well, it's not your kid's fault that you have bad taste.
You know, we're gonna have a talk, PA, offline.
No,
After the
not
show,
sorry
we're
for that comment at all. Not even a little bit.
Die
Gonna
Hard's
have a
the
talk.
one he's willing to die on.
Yeah, we were talking about how we relate to each other in the community, and where you're kind of like the mother. There's a bunch of us in PA's Discord that I don't know if you know Aaron 50 was it 50 360. There's like 4 of us that have claimed him as our son.
just the cutest little thing.
He's a sweetheart,
Aw.
but he's
He
like
is. He's just he's a sweet kid.
he's like 16 or 17 years old, and I mean, he's got a hard time sometimes, and we just take over and start mothering him. We love him to
Yeah.
death.
And then I'm like
His
that, and then I'm
grandma.
like that, and then I'm like that abusive uncle that just makes fun of him all the time because they're all being like nice and lovey-dovey, and I'm like, nah, we gotta rub some dirt on that bitch.
Walk it off. Put some dirt on
Hey,
it.
hey,
It'll be
he
fine.
he needs that kind of relationship with I feel like he needs that kind of relationship with a guy who's an adult because he probably doesn't have it where he's at.
Amateur animator says he's the weird neighbor. No, you're not.
Also, sorry, not sorry that I just dropped JM's book link in the chat.
But with the stories you do tell, guys, you've got such a huge catalog. Yeah.
I need to go through and call it. I need to get
No.
the bat.
No,
I
don't.
did.
Don't. That's one of the things that has you, Mad Chatter, Slumber. There's a bunch of you that has older works up, and I thank all of you for that, because it helped me realize that I don't have to get each take perfect the first time. That there's going to be technical issues that you can overcome. That you get better as you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it allows people to see that.
And
That's kind of why
by having
Go ahead.
those up, it allows us to see that. It allows us to see your progress, your growth, and realize that we may not be your caliber right now, but we can strive to get there. We can work to make that point, to be that professional, to be that smooth, to be that confident in our performance, that we can say we're almost as good as Madam Raven.
I'm not that great, I swear. But no, that's kind of why I left it up, so somebody can come along. I get some troll to come along and, oh, well, you suck. Well, yeah, well, I sucked a lot more 4 years ago. Do you want to go here? Well, I don't know.
Any female on Dr. Creepins gets a year sucked for some reason. I don't know why.
Oh,
Yeah, I think there's a lot of jealousy there.
oh my God, those women are just ferocious.
They really are.
Oh my gosh.
Amanda's married. None of us are sleeping with him. It's just a
Right.
friendship.
Right. Oh, it's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, they can get quite vicious over. I remember this was, I think, last year. GM Danielson had said something about how Doc's not professionally trained, because he starts off high and loud in a sentence and then it goes soft. I do the same thing. I'm not professionally trained. But some of the women on Doc's channel went completely nuts about that and were ready to cancel GM and go just absolutely nuts. And I said something about I listened to both of them and I was under attack. It's like, okay. It's just, yeah, they are crazy.
I've listened to both of them. I think I've kind of drifted away from GM because of some of his comments recently.
He can get he gets frustrated with how things go.
He's kind of an ass.
Kind of. I'll just say it. He's a fucking asshole. And I have no qualms about saying that.
Well, that's because he went
Bring it
after
on.
Jensen.
Yeah, he did.
But
Bring it on. Bring it on, Danielson.
I think
I have friends.
I think sometimes he goes after some of those narrators because he wants to improve them, because he sees that they have potential. And
Right.
when he says things about them, it's usually something that, yeah, he may not say it the way that it should be said, but
Right.
the words
But
or
it's
the thought
knowledge.
behind
Yeah.
it is like, constructive criticism. It's like, maybe you need to watch your volume levels when you're talking, or maybe you should be more expressive here or that. His comment to Jensen about why are we using cuss words in our thumbnails all of a sudden, is that to get new listeners? Well, it actually didn't have to do with that, but there again, it's, he wants him to be more professional. Yes, it was badly worded. All of these things were badly worded, but
He accused Jensen of doing it just for clickbait. But that's what pissed me off.
And I understand that, but
PA is very protective over Jensen. Very
I
protective.
feel like he's just trying to help people get up to the level to make it more. And the other thing that I have noticed recently is he keeps putting himself above everybody else, and that I really get tired of hearing.
Yeah.
Thank-
Like I say, I think
thank
it comes
you,
down
Pat.
to frustration. He's had the education in the field. He's worked hard at it, and I think he doesn't have as many subscribers as other narrators, and he finds that very frustrating. And it comes out in a very bad way,
Yes,
you know.
I understand.
Well, then that's just sour grapes, isn't it?
The thing is that, and I understand he has done this, so it's not that he can't do it. YouTube is not going to be kind to those that are professionals. It hasn't been in the past.
Right.
The algorithm does not lean towards those, and he's done voice work off of YouTube, and he does do it very well. And maybe he needs to return to that and let that part flourish.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's- he's not. I've listened to his stuff, and he's not bad. But he's just very pretentious.
Pretentious. That's a nice way of
He's
saying
good.
it.
He's just not in my list.
Oh, he's on my list. It's just not the list he
wrong
wants
list.
to be on.
Wrong list. I love you, Laura. I love you.
Yeah. I love Kat. Kat just said that anybody that goes against the Madam Raven and is on PA's bad list is on their bad list too. And I'm like, Kat, thanks.
Okay. Another fun question.
Ooh,
So,
fun question.
Madam Raven, unfortunately, you broke one of the laws of the tavern, and you have
Right.
ended up in our jail and are going to be executed in the morning. What
Break you
would
out.
you like? I know it was a bad thing. We can't save you. What is it that you would like for your last meal?
Also, Madam Raven, just because we like you, we'll also give you you get to choose the manner of your execution.
Oh, okay. My last meal. Oh, that's hard to say. My Tongan neighbors had me over for lunch today. They had a party, and oh my gosh, that food was so incredible. If it was my last meal, what would I have? Ooh.
But we're kind. We'll get you anything.
Probably prime rib sounds good. And a baked potato with all the toppings.
Okay.
Oh.
And about 6 different types of ice cream for dessert.
Okay.
And how am I going to be killed? Witches were hung mostly. But I think maybe getting my head chopped off might be quicker.
Only
It'll
if
be
it's a
interesting
sharp.
to see if I
Well,
sharp.
guillotine would be my preferred. That's my preferred method
sword.
of execution as well.
Axe, sword, or guillotine.
Yeah, guillotine. That's more definite. Definitely not an axe, but
Just real quick. I want to say hi to
Spooky
Spooky
Boo.
Boo, who just showed up.
There's,
hi,
ano-
Spooky Boo.
there's
Good to see
another
you.
one. There's another one of our ladies of renown narrators.
Spooky Boo is
Yes.
amazing. Anybody has not checked her out, definitely should.
Bread, the ultimate answer. Okay, AA.
What did he say?
Bread, the ultimate answer.
Any kind of bread.
Red.
No, that was
Mm.
Actually,
Hair raising narrative that said that, not
No.
AA.
It was animator.
No, it was animated. It's
Did he say it farther up that I missed? Oh,
Yes.
okay.
But
Oh, I see. Hair raiser was just
Right as this interview started, my dad's fiance texted me, and she's like, there's sausage gravy and biscuits down here," and I'm like, "Oh God, when this interview's over, I know what I'm going down to get."
It's in gravy.
Hmm.
Ooh, I have sausage,
Ooh, sausage gravy.
biscuits, and gravy. Mm.
That is
Everything else makes
if
me
I was
scratch.
about to be executed, that's what I would ask for: sausage gravy,
Sausage.
homemade biscuits, and then I'd be like, and every kind of pie on earth.
He'd never finish eating.
Bet.
That's one way to stay alive is make your last meal last forever.
Right.
Immediately, I would never finish eating. Bet. You don't know how much pie I can put in my stomach.
Okay, Dean. And there we go. Spooky Boo says that she loves Madame Raven.
Oh, thank you so much. You are awesome. Seriously.
With one up mushroom, it would.
There you go. Yes, I want a one-up mushroom for my last meal.
You die and come back to life, Link.
There you go.
And it's like, what do you want for your last meal? Another one-up mushroom.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Actually, if you ate a one-up mushroom and they executed you and came back to life, technically they would have to let you go because they've executed you for the crime that you committed, and they can't do it a second time.
This
Well,
is true.
That was one of the things.
Had
Double jeopardy.
Yeah, that was one of the things with hanging people. Believe it or not, not everybody died from hanging. There were some people who survived it, and the ones that survived it had already been hung, so they were released into the population because they'd already been hung. They'd already
their
served.
price. Yeah.
I can't imagine the neck pain that they went through or the back pain that they went through, but you know.
Who knows? Maybe it made them feel better.
Possibly.
Right into place.
I know
Hey,
a guy.
Maybe they were criminals because they had back pain, and maybe it straightened their back out or realigned their back for them.
Guy that I worked
Exactly.
with in Huntsville, Alabama, and you guys can take a guess at where I was working. Fell into a box of 440 volt, and he had a heart murmur before it. It did not kill him, although it probably should have. And the doctor told him not to do it again, but his heart murmur was gone from it. So,
Oh my goodness.
you know, he had burns on his skin from the voltage. You know, that's a lot of electricity going through your body. But yeah, it fixed his heart murmur.
Cool.
Hey
The
Doc,
hard
I'm gonna
way.
I'm gonna take things that can kill you for 1,000.
No.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger and cures your heart murmur.
Apparently.
I don't think I'm gonna try it.
Yeah.
Just because. I mean, I'm
Doesn't
already
kill
on
you.
borrowed time. I've died a couple times already. Let's not push the matter.
The world has tried to kill me, but it has never succeeded.
You know,
I am working on the theory that I am actually immortal.
I'm living for at least 450 more years, because I've got about that much work I need to get done. But you know, you say you're on borrowed time. Maybe this is a question for everybody here. I don't believe if you've died and come back, you're actually on borrowed time. I think that it wasn't your time, and you were given you were mistakenly taken, and so now you're back in your own time, but you also have that experience, so you can kind of work on your life the way you need to.
Listen, death comes for me. I'm just
That
gonna
makes
punch him in the
sense.
throat.
Filia said
And
she died
still is
already,
worse.
and she has. That's a story that I don't know that you've told, Filia.
No.
And she wants to know if you experienced anything when you died already.
I didn't. And it sucked. I got cheated out of it. I should have.
There's actually a story about that, but I don't remember the whole.
Oh God, it's a long freaking story.
Yeah, it is.
The world is
It's one of those really complicated.
That's been stuck in my head since we started talking about vampires.
Okay.
Hair Raising says he's dead inside. Make sure to tell Death not today.
Okay. Well, first off, if you actually see death, you know your time is.
Is it though?
You're not supposed to see him. You're not supposed to. Although we want more, Filia. Okay. Well, when they interview me, you'll get more.
Well,
It's not my interview. It's Madam Raven's.
so,
Although she's had a near-death experience, maybe she'll tell us.
Well, the closest I came was probably when my oldest was born. I had toxemia. We talked about this a little earlier. It was so bad. The day before they took her by C-section, I was 29 weeks along, so she was 12 weeks early. My blood was orange and my urine was brown.
Oh,
So it was pretty bad.
yeah.
I
Those
spent
colors
a
don't
week.
go well.
Yeah, I spent a week basically knocked out while they tried to get the toxins out of my body. But yeah, that was as close as I got.
my mom broke the blood pressure monitor,
Right.
and they said prep her. We're taking the baby now. And the doctor said, like I told you, if they'd waited 5 more minutes, we'd have both been dead.
Yeah.
But,
Okay.
So you've changed your avatar a couple of times.
I have.
The new one on YouTube and Twitter reminds me of a banshee.
It kind of does. Pentails up did that one. She does some
You know, I can
lovely
tell.
Love it.
I still like the one that Yeah Man TV did, which is the one I had before, the cartoon one.
Yeah,
that
that's
one
the
was
one
awesome
on your.
too.
That one is on your Reddit. No,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't lurk there
No.
either. But yeah, it brings back the point. You know, you were saying if you see death, well, not necessarily, because if you see a banshee, you're supposed to. That means that somebody is going to die.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't necessarily mean you. It could be somebody else.
Right.
But the banshee doesn't. Traditional banshees do not actually kill you. They're just messengers saying it's going to happen. Somebody is going to die.
Right. And you know, it's kind of funny because this last spring, my mother had an episode where she woke up in the middle of the night and she heard somebody outside of her window just crying, completely brokenhearted. And there was nobody there. Well, a few weeks later, she had a heart attack and had 2 stents put in. It was so bad they had to put 2 stents in. And then 2 weeks after that, she had a stroke. And she's doing pretty good now, but it's kind of interesting that happened.
Wow.
All of this stuff. I'm thinking, oh, nice, she heard a banshee. I didn't tell her that, but...
Oh my goodness.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
there's the story,
yeah.
and I can't remember which lord it was, but the story about the lord that was going off to war, and he met a woman who was crying as she washed clothes in the river. And he said, whose clothes, the clothes were covered in blood, and whose clothes are you are you mourning over? And she looked up to him and said, yours.
Right.
And she was a banshee. That was one of the older traditional banshees.
Right, the washerwomen.
Mm-hmm.
There was generally, general fate that were washerwomen that would wash the clothes of those who were going to die in battle. But also who would do that would be the Morrigan, who is the Irish war goddess. And she would pick who would win and who would die in battle. And she was a washerwoman as well, who would wash the clothes of those who were about to die. So, yes. And that's all mixed in with the banshee. Yeah.
It's really interesting, Laura, and I got into it because of a story that I wrote, which I actually have narrated, and I'm going through the audio now. So that.
Awesome.
Sorry it's
That's
taking
cool.
so long, Rando. It was supposed to be my St. Patrick's Day release, and well, it was.
And then a little bit, yeah.
Well, it wasn't finished. The story wasn't finished on St. Patrick's Day. I hadn't finished writing it all, and I didn't feel like just cutting it off in the middle of the story.
Right.
That's one thing.
Is it the one that has a Dolahan in it?
Yes.
Okay.
Ooh.
It's got a Dullahan. It has banshees. It talks about
Got everybody in it.
the Daroth and Danae. She makes reference to the Queen of the Banshee, which is, and I can't pronounce the name because I just looked at it. But the main character in the story is the original Banshee's daughter, and that's it's a little bit of liberty with the mythology, but it came to me as a story, so I'm telling the story.
That's awesome. That sounds so interesting.
Yeah.
I can't
It
wait.
does sound interesting.
And our chat has kind of just, I think they're just mesmerized.
They've stopped talking. Yeah.
They're mesmerized
Come on, guys.
by
I just
Madam
had a-
Raven's voice.
So I just had an idea for a story I kind of want to write about a high school student she's got like the perfect life. She's she's wealthy. She has friends. Everybody loves her. She's very smart. Outgoing. Anybody who gets in her way, competitively is like she takes them down. And because of her ability to inspire people, she ends up making a club in her school, and it ends up turning into a cult.
There you go.
That's
Fun.
interesting.
Because most cult leaders are like, they come from like a troubled past, and I'm just like, you know what? If you take the cult idea and you just have it to the point where somebody's so inspirational that everybody wants to follow her, and then they do it without asking questions, I'm like, this can make for an interesting story.
Well,
Yeah.
that's how cult leaders get
That would
their
make it
power.
Right.
I mean,
That would make for a good. Well,
yeah.
What was that, madam?
it would make for a good anime as well.
Yeah.
It would. That would be neat.
Or manga too.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've been reading a lot of manga lately. I don't know why.
Those are good.
Cool.
My husband's the one watching a lot of anime, and I'm watching a lot of manga. Reading a lot of manga. Can't tell we're a geek household, can you?
That's
Reading,
okay.
watching,
We
it's
are
the
as
same.
well.
I think the
Yep.
whole of the horror community is majority geeks.
We're very nerdy, geeky, and people who just love blood and gore and death. We're very strange individuals.
Yes,
That's
some
right.
people do worship the VTubers, so it's not really that far out there. And I'm going to have a talk with Jensen because he said something like, I'm going to become a VTuber. Please don't. We love you the way you are.
Jensen's
Okay.
so awesome.
He
is.
is.
He's a sweetheart.
So,
Poor man just got banned from TikTok for a second time.
Somebody is messing with him,
Yeah.
doing those copyright claims.
Yeah.
It's someone is absolutely going after him. It's
I think
crazy.
they're going out of all of the YouTubers that have come over to TikTok, because I've seen a lot of them having that trouble where they're getting copyright claimed and then getting banned, only to be unbanned or get another channel and have no problem. So yeah. Okay, you got the point, Laura. Kat, I agree. We are basically all VTubing right now, except our mouths on the screen aren't moving. I wish I had the ability to do what he did. I mean, I'm a little bit jealous, but I'm not an artiste, so I couldn't do it to begin with. But he has got himself a VR suit so that the creations that he puts together in Blender, he can move them around, so they were actually moving with him. You can see him
so cool.
typing on the computer, leaning over and typing on the computer with his character on screen that he had created, the monster, looking like he's typing on a computer even though he's just in the air.
Neat.
It was a really neat stream, and I didn't say anything, so he probably doesn't even know I was watching.
When did he do this stream?
June? Early July?
Nice.
Yeah, it wasn't all that long ago.
No, it wasn't. But, so, Madam Raven, where do you see your channel going? I mean, not that it hasn't a beautiful path that it's going in right now, but do you see any changes that you want to make, or?
I don't know. I mean, gosh, I'm kind of comfortable at the moment. I probably need to break out of that and do some more, but I really haven't thought of what direction to go in. I'm honestly just enjoying it right now, and I haven't been pushing it, and it's shown. My subscriber count isn't going up very much, but I'm just enjoying doing it right now. And when things get settled, maybe I'll have more time to put into it and see how that goes. I actually have a paranormal conference I'm talking in October, so I don't know if I might change the direction I go in, but we'll see.
Cool.
I'd like
It
to
would be
time
interesting.
to-
It would be interesting
Yeah.
if you could somehow record that and play that on your channel so we could hear it.
I'm hoping, I'm planning to do that. Maybe even video. We'll have to see. I probably won't be too happy with the video. I'm not too thrilled about a face reveal that way, but we'll see.
You don't have
We'll
to show your face.
Yeah, just the audio. I got my outfit all set. I've got this black 50s dress with a crinoline skirt and the whole works.
Oh,
so
wow.
We'll see.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Oh, Filia. No one
Yes,
said
dear.
you can get inside my head. Stay out of there.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
Because I was about to make that same suggestion Filia did about like getting the audio and putting it on your channel. Like I literally thought it, and then as I was thinking it, Filia was saying it. I'm like, God, my head. No one. It's not a safe place for you, Filia.
It smells
It's
like
very
boy
dangerous
in there. It smells like boy.
Hey, listen,
God.
my brain is not for the weak of heart. If you, so you go in there, you start crawling around and digging through there, you're gonna come back out extremely crazy.
So
Brains and werewolf guts and
yeah.
The Last Jedi
What else?
the Last Jedi that went poking in my brain went crazy.
that what happened to Rando? I mean,
Yes, that is exactly what happened to Rando.
So
Poor Rando.
you'd have to get everybody, understand I'm recording this and it will be on YouTube type thing.
Right.
I'm a
Do
big
you have to
thing
get their
on.
permission to use their voice?
In a lot of cases, it's polite. I don't know if you have to get their permission, but you know
Or
how
what you,
It's always best to
you know how
cover
anal.
your butt.
Yeah, you know
what
how
you could
do
anal
is
I am.
what you could do instead of recording it, while you're there, is you could just take notes about the things that you want to talk about, and then when you get back to your room, you can do like a vlog, just an audio vlog, just talk about like what you did and what you thought was really cool and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna.
I plan to have a script. I'd be in trouble if I didn't have a script. So yeah.
We gotta.
You could audio.
We gotta. Good, Mia.
You could record it and take notes off the record if you don't put it up on YouTube.
That's true.
Yeah.
I have to
Also-
say that as you were talking about Jedis going into your brain and turning crazy, the music changed to the ballads of the Power of Dark Side thing just came on.
That's awesome. Also, welcome to our
Cece.
very own creepy clown girl,
Hi, CCG.
Filia.
CCG,
Not
good
Filia.
to see you.
Mia, this time you were in my head. Get out of my head! No one's welcome there except me.
No, you're the one that's not
Correct.
welcome in my head.
Oh, I've already dug around there. I didn't find anything of interest. Just some cobwebs.
Children. Now.
My brain would be a foggy London street. You don't know what's gonna hit you next.
Ooh, I love those streets.
You-
So,
I-
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
oh no, you're good. Go ahead.
I was just going to ask Madam Raven. You've been doing this for, what did you say, almost 5 years now, and you were one of the first ladies. There were not very many, and there are considerably more now.
I love
Do
it when we
you
all get
think-
together.
Right. Do you think we are actually making significant changes in the landscape of the horror community? Do you think the
so.
boys are letting us in the club?
I don't think the boys have ever kept us out. The fellow narrators have been very supportive. I don't think I've run into any that's been, ew, girls. It's
The viewers.
it's the viewers. Yeah. It's the viewers that are like, oh, girls can't do it right, or whatever.
You're not creepy enough.
And
But but they're okay
I
with
think
a.
you're creepy.
They're okay with a. I'm a 13-year-old girl.
That's right. That kills
I'm
me.
a 13-year-old girl, and this story took when I was 7.
Yeah.
A very deep voice for a 7-year-old to begin with.
Right.
I love it when Mr. Haunted or one of the corpse husband with with the really really deep bass voice
Deep voice.
say something like that. And it's nothing against the guys, because I've heard ladies do. I was a 17-year-old male when this story happened. I'm now 23. I've heard that happens.
Right.
We don't
It's like-
always.
And I narrate male characters, and because most of them start on no sleep, it's first person perspective,
Right.
and you go with the story. But
Yeah.
I think we are getting some headway. I think we are.
I think you are,
Yeah.
because I have noticed a good amount of newer up and coming female narrators that I really enjoy
And some
listening
of them
to.
are, and some of them are getting good subscriber counts. Gothic Rose and Curious Raven Reed, they're getting up there. They're breaking that glass ceiling. I wasn't able to, but I'm glad to see that they are. So, yeah.
And
Okay.
and like I said, when I grow up, I want to be you and Gothic Rose and Spooky Boo. And you know, there's you guys broke the trend.
You guys knocked the door down
trend.
for us.
You know
broke
who?
the trend.
You know what female
Yeah.
narrator I miss because she hasn't uploaded in a really long time? Is Spirit Voices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I miss.
Yep.
Well, and then there's Lulu, but we all
Yeah.
understand that, you know, both of them are college students, you know, and I'm sorry, I think about this for the guys too. Your education is far more important than anything you're going to do on YouTube.
Right.
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 So if you need to take a break from YouTube because your grades are dropping or you need to study, do it.
Yeah.
And that's for anybody
Well,
out there.
And you know, there's other things in life that, you know, need to take precedent too, besides that, you know? So yeah. Unless you've got multiple millions of subscribers and that is your job,
Right.
you know.
Well, even then,
But, yeah.
I mean, I was listening to someone last night and they were saying that somebody else was talking about taking 3 months off and they couldn't imagine not putting out a video for 3 months. And my subscriber count would just disappear. And it's not really... I don't think it would really be that bad in some circles. Definitely not in the horror community. Because the subscribers are very, very loyal to the community.
They are.
And they don't really mind. They understand that we have lives. We have families. We have, you know, medical issues, some of us. And YouTube isn't really a career for a lot of us anymore. We can't do it as a career. You have to do other things as a career. So,
And you know, that's one of my biggest problems is I've set this goal for me that I put out 3 videos a week. And if I don't make it, I panic. And I need to quit doing that, you know. It's okay if I miss a video here or there. But yeah, it's, I don't know.
yeah, it is.
Yep.
It's okay. We'll miss
Yeah.
it, but we
Yeah.
will live and we will still be here for you.
Yep.
And I last October with doing Beautiful Nightmares book, I was putting out 1 to 2 videos every week. And it killed me physically. I mean,
Oh yeah.
by the time I got out of December, I was just like, I am dying. Like, I can't breathe. So it shouldn't be that much of a stress on your body or on your mind or on your time.
Right.
And
So
I
it
loved doing it, but it was a lot of work.
and that's just it. If it's too much stress, it's not fun anymore. And if it's not fun anymore, you might as well quit.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
YouTube killed it as a viable career when they started making it harder to become monetized, messing with the algorithm. See, I didn't say the word. To where it catches people doing things they aren't doing. And that's all I'm going to say. And when it got to start putting commercials on people who aren't even monetized.
ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
I was always, for so long, it's like I was just about monetized and then they change it. And I was just about monetized and then they change it. And it was just so frustrating because they would just keep moving that goalpost just in front of me. And oh, yeah. If you're not doing it for the love of it, don't bother doing it because, yeah, the cards are stacked against you to make any money on it.
I can't say I
Right.
love doing it, but it does give me something to do whenever I'm bored at home late at night. I enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah. I enjoy it too. And I've got to give a shout out to my listeners and the community that comments on my videos. I have got such great subscribers that I've got to know, and just wonderful people. And a lot of them are just support just about everybody, you know. I mean,
Mhm.
Sexy Grandma Darkness is a
Oh my God.
superstar. She's
She's
everywhere.
amazing. She
Mhm.
is.
I remember meeting her on Creepy Ghost Stories channel. She's awesome.
She is. Oh, she is a hoot. And you know, the people that just show up and listen are just amazing, and they really are the best. They really are.
Creepy Clown Girl's like that too. She's everywhere. She supports everybody. She introduces
is.
everybody
She is
to
so
everybody. Yeah.
I used to be able to be everywhere, and then I started doing stuff on YouTube, and I'm like, Jesus Christ! Now I know why. Whenever narrators say I don't have the amount of time I used to watch videos, I completely understand it now.
It's
Well,
true.
I mean, and you thanked me a couple of times in the comments, especially on the camping series where I had gone through and put in timestamps for the different
Yes.
parts of the chapters.
Mhm. Yes. Yes.
And I only started doing that because I'm like, you know, she probably couldn't do this when she put it out. So I'm just sitting
Right.
here listening and I'm writing things down, so I might as well say chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter.
Because
Oh.
it is when you're putting together, you know, 26 chapters, and then it takes 2 days to render and another
Jesus.
2 days to upload, and you're just so frustrated. Yeah, you don't think about doing that. So yeah, it's extremely helpful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys take that survey
Yes, I took both of
that
them.
they had? Yeah, I did too. Did you actually answer like
Yes.
when they had the, you know,
I
what can
give
we do to
them-
make it better?
I
Quit
give them-
stealing my likes.
Right? Just quit fucking taking my likes when I premiere, you bitches.
Yeah, what's that about?
And Spooky Boo's got a comment on that. Not only are we not monetized, but they shimp our videos. I used to get 300 views, and now I only get 60. That
Yeah.
has been across YouTube.
Feel that
Yeah.
on a spiritual level. I used to get not 80 to 100 views, and now I'm lucky if I get 50.
Yep.
But that
So maybe I'm not doing a lot worse than I thought I was, if that's going on with everybody.
So
is.
it is.
also you guys gotta take into account the time of year. It's summer. A lot of people are out doing things. They're not watching YouTube as much.
We're not stuck
so-
in the house this year.
Yeah, one of
Right.
the
So
comment-
dropping views is gonna come from that as well.
one of the comments I heard, and I, like I said, I listen to a lot of non-horror because I try to learn things about YouTube and how it works, and so I can tweak things a little bit and let people know do this. But somewhere around July 4th, something happened, and people started losing subscribers and likes, and viewers were being miscounted. So I think it's something that has increased since that point. Yeah, when they started putting commercials on people who weren't monetized, things like that started happening as well. They messed something up. I don't know what they did, but they messed something up. Yes. And it
Yeah,
happens.
because you can. Oh, go ahead.
It happens all over the year. It happens all over the year. It's not just summer. You'll see a dip in November.
I know they have. Yeah, I know they have those purges every so few months or so, and that's so annoying.
Yeah, I remember.
Well, but you can do a premiere and you can look at it and you go, all right, I've got 70 views. And you can go to bed and you can wake up in the morning and you've got 30 views.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've never
It's
had a
like,
problem
now
with the
I
views. It's the
know.
likes that they just jacked from me.
Yeah, they steal the likes too.
But that also affects your hours for you're trying to get monetized. That affects
Right.
so much, and it affects how the algorithm sees you. There are certain people that show up on my closed streams on videos all the time. Madam Raven is one of them. But it's, I can look and say and go, wait a minute, so-and-so's not showing up there anymore. What's going on? And then I go and look, and I've been desubscribed. Well, what the hell happened there? I didn't desubscribe from them.
That's been going on for a couple of years.
But if
So-
you ask YouTube,
so-
they don't unsubscribe anybody.
Right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But one of our friends, T Stash, every time he subscribes to me, YouTube immediately, and I mean immediately, like within 3 seconds, unsubscribes him from me.
Weird.
Every time we're on like attempt number 50 and it still hasn't stuck.
Wow.
Crazy.
What was it the other day? CCG was not being able to leave comments.
Oh yeah.
Oh, when the Google moderator came in and started moderating the chat and timed out a moderator for the channel. I mean, why do
I
you
didn't
do
even
that?
hear about that.
It's very interesting in a bad way.
Yeah, in a very bad way. Yes, it's a shadow ban, and people get it. Yankee. What is Yankee? I can't even remember what Yankee's full name is, or his channel name is, but he has been suffering under a shadow ban for 2 years. He could come to a live stream and could not speak in the chat until recently, like within the last 3 months.
Wow.
Why do you do that to people?
That's crazy.
Yep. And he's been back and forth with YouTube help desk or service desk or whatever you want to call them, and we don't see anything that's affecting your ability to do that. Well, obviously something is.
Wow.
So,
And so, what is our other option? There is any other option, though.
well, there are other options, but they're not as big as YouTube. They're not going to get you the livelihood that YouTube. I shouldn't say livelihood. I should say audience that YouTube will get you, because YouTube is the biggest.
Right.
They've been doing it the
Yeah.
longest. They're the most known.
Neat.
So, Madam Raven, we're going. PA, you haven't asked your new favorite question yet.
Yeah. So, Madam Raven, we're now living in a brand new hellscape where alligators and crocodiles can fly. How do you think the human race would fare?
Well, obviously, since we're talking about geeks here, Loki Gator would rule the world. So just have to get on his good side.
I'm just gonna go with they have evolved to know how to fly. Give it another evolution or two, and they'll be the size of a freaking bus, and they'll be breathing fire.
Well, now you have dragons. That's a thing.
Yep.
I think that somebody had better start making thermal armor to prevent you from being burned up pretty soon, because fire breathing would obviously be next.
And
Exactly.
probably ice breathing. too.
Obviously.
Yeah. Yep.
So, are there any
Um,
questions you have for us?
Oh, I can never think of anything like that. You guys are all so awesome. No, I can't. I can't think of anything.
So a random side note, CCG and her server just tagged everyone, and Zach Baby TV is doing another Halloween collab. So anybody here who would like to participate, the due date's October 1st.
Okay, Spooky Boo has a question for you, madam.
Okay.
What are your favorite kinds of stories to read, fiction or true?
That is a good question. Fiction kind of shares with folklore a bit in that it is a good view into our subconscious. I think if you read the fiction on No Sleep on Reddit, it gives you an insight into what's going on in the collective consciousness of the society. And I think it's interesting that things go through patterns like the rules lists and whatever else. But I think that I find that part very interesting. And the true stories, they do the same thing, just through a different lens, because this is people saying, okay, this is what's happened to me. I like to read them both. I read a lot more fiction because it's easier. Collecting the Skinwalker stories is a little slightly more labor intensive because I do have to go out and ask for permission and all that. And true haunting stories, they have always interested me. That's the same sort of thing. But I seem to stick with fiction. So I suppose fiction, but they're both interesting kind of for the same reason, just a different lens of how to look at it. Does that make sense, or am I just rambling?
It makes perfect sense
No,
to
it
me.
makes sense.
It makes perfect sense to me. And again, the true stories, there's only so many of them, guys. And then you get people who are saying, well, so-and-so's already done that story, and I like their version better. Well, fine, go listen to that one.
Right.
Go listen to that one.
I asked the same author if I could use it, and he said yes. And that's not a bad thing.
Yep.
Everybody puts their own
No.
twist on it. And How to Survive Camping, I don't think anybody could do it better than you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you kind of
Listen.
own that.
Listen. I write my own stories and I narrate them, and I just go and I listen to Raven's version. I'm like, shit, Raven did that so much better than I did, and that's my story.
Too kind, really.
Okay, so we need to wrap this up. We've actually been going for 2 hours, guys.
No, we didn't.
It's been a lot of fun.
It's an hour
Yeah,
and
we have.
56 minutes live on this stream.
I was gonna say no, we haven't, but yeah, we have.
Yeah, we have.
Well, it's fun.
It is fun, and that's why we like doing this.
Yeah.
And I would love to have you back.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'd love to come back. This has been a blast.
And hopefully you're comfortable with us.
Yes, very much. I was nervous to begin with, but no, this has been a blast. This has been a lot of fun. So I appreciate you asking me to come on.
Well, we
Thank you very
appreciate
much.
saying yes.
You're very welcome.
Yeah.
Anarchy.
Oh, God.
Sorry, I really like creating chaos.
He does.
So if
It does.
if you haven't subbed to Madam Raven, believe
You're
Already.
lame, and you need to go fix that.
it's already pinned up there. But here it is again. Go listen, go enjoy. Also, make sure you sub to the Nevermore Collective. I believe Grave Matters is tomorrow.
Yes. And you want to know who's oh, I just shut the dang thing down. Damn it. Give me 1 second. 1 second. I got it. I was
Are you
just
sure?
getting ready for that too. It was there, and then all of these crazy people started putting all this other crap in there and kind of up where our information was. I don't know who could have done that.
I don't have any idea. I don't talk in that chat.
Yeah.
I am guilty of nothing. You can't prove otherwise.
Yeah.
Remember that the Nevermore Collective, while you're looking for that, the Nevermore Collective is a platform for anybody who wants to post a video or do a live stream that doesn't quite fit on their channel. Whether that's gaming or different kind of horror story or fantasy story or live streams that just don't fit your particular channel. Anything that doesn't fit, it can come to the Nevermore Collective.
Listen, in short, we do the stuffy things on this channel. Come do the stuffy things with us.
You can get a hold of PA, Raven, 42, me, any of us, and we can hook you up. Did I just say that?
Yep.
I'll hook you up all day long.
Oh God.
What?
And next week we're
take that as you will.
We're continuing the Conspiracy of Ravens next week.
Considering, huh?
Continuing the conspiracy.
You definitely saying considering.
Okay. We're continuing the Conspiracy of Ravens. We started with Madam Raven, and no better way to start, in my opinion. Next week we have Curious Raven. So
I wonder what she's so curious about.
You'll have to ask her.
Right?
And tomorrow we do have Grave Matters at 7 o'clock Mountain Time? Is that right?
At 5 o'clock Pacific.
5 o'clock Pacific.
No, I
I
think
don't know.
that's
They
wrong.
do things and I
I
show
don't
sometimes.
I don't know. Because I can't even find the dang thing. I honestly, I can't find where the schedule is. It was there, and now I seriously can't find it.
Okay. So
I do apologize, people.
hopefully you guys will come back. I'm hoping that Madam Raven will come back eventually. And this has been wonderful. It is so great to actually talk to you.
No, we do not have a show tomorrow.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
We don't, because we had to do it.
That was my sad.
Oh,
Sad
because
Raven.
y'all had to do 2 shows. I mean, you had to do the show last night.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Okay. But it has been wonderful to talk to you. And, you know, we feel sort of celebrity status type thing is we listen to the narrations and we feel like we know you guys. I shouldn't say you guys because I should include myself, but you know, we know you, we know Spooky Boo, we know, you know, CCG, we know Filia. These are bad examples because I actually do know them on a different level. But we talk to you when you're narrating. You don't hear us, but we talk to you. And we make comments that sometimes don't get written down in the comment lines. So we feel we know you, but it's a whole different feeling to actually get to talk with you. And I appreciate the opportunity that we had today to do so.
This has been a lot of fun. Thank you very much.
No, did we lose Filia? We lost Filia.
Did we?
I heard that. Yeah,
And she's back.
she's back.
But,
Our internet is doing that again.
thank you
I'm
all.
glad
for
mine held
coming.
out.
Right. Thank you all for coming out. It was a blast. We love all of you
Thank
guys.
you. We'll see you later.
All right. Be safe, everybody.
And once you join the collective, you can leave Nevermore.
Nevermore.
Because there's a raven here, get it?
I got it.
Okay.
Can you feel the fire burn? Spark ignites the flame. Should we go our separate ways, or should we just stay the same? And I know that I wasn't really right for you, and I promise that I'm the blame. Just don't go, cause this life isn't right for me, and it's causing me all this pain. Can we start it all over? Can we try it all again? I know that I need us, so let me have one more chance. Like fire in the rain. It's 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 like fire in the rain. Finer things, dream of the past instead of waiting for a leap back. What will change this time? On and on it goes while we stand aside. No, we really don't. And something in us brings with it a light that won't be colored out.